Maxine Chung from CDN Computer Dealer News, and I'm here in Toronto at Tech Data's third annual Business Builder Tour. With me here today, I have Rick Reed, the President of Tech Data Canada, and Greg Myers, the Vice President of Marketing for Tech Data. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maxine.
So I wanted to get a quick update from you guys as to where the business is so far in terms of your general outlook for this year, and kind of if you can talk about any trends.
Maybe I'll take the start of that. We had, like most folks did, a bit of a dip last year, caused primarily by the recession. Felt throughout the States. They actually went into a little bit earlier than we did, and a little deeper likely. We went a little bit later. Actually, the early part of the year, we're a little bit more optimistic that it wasn't going to happen in Canada, but it did. Not as deep as the U.S., and we had a down year. But the good news is that the vendors that we deal with, it sounds like in general their business was down 15 to 18% year over year, and our volumes didn't drop nearly to that extent. So we were quite pleased that we were able to hang on to some market share. In fact, in some areas, grow it in Canada last year. So we're out of that, and we're optimistic for this fiscal year, which began Feb 1. We just completed our first quarter, and if we talk to the vendor community, they're optimistic that we're starting to see a comeback. We're not going to see the results from 2008 again, or at least not this year in the early stages, but I'm anticipating that the first half will be better than the first half last year, but not to the same extent as 2008, but we're going to see more of a turnaround in the last half.
Okay, you guys recently signed on with Avaya, and you inked a distribution deal with them. What does that mean to you and your business, and also what is that going to mean to your channel partners?
Okay, I'll take a piece of this. So Avaya went through a very extensive research around the world on who they want to have as their distribution partners, and they selected Tech Data as one of the very few for around the world. So we have the Avaya product line now throughout Europe and the Americas. We're very, very excited about it because in advance of the Avaya acquisition of Nortel, we had a large practice with both Nortel Voice and Nortel Data. So this is so that we get to maintain, but now move into the Avaya space as well. So our resellers who have participated with us in the Nortel space wanted us to remain. There's no question that they were lobbying heavy with Avaya to keep Tech Data in the game, and we're pleased that Avaya listened, and that we'll continue to work with our reseller partners, not only with the legacy Nortel product suite as we transition into the Avaya the legacy Nortel products line as well. We migrate into the Avaya merged line and have access as well to the incremental Avaya customers that we didn't have access to before. So it's exciting. It's a big piece of business in Canada, and we think we'll be one of the dominant players in that space very quickly.
The tour this year encompasses 6 different cities. So as you see this growing in terms of partner size and also vendor participation rates, do you see adding on new cities as well as part of your stocks?
Yeah, we actually added some incremental cities this year. I forget which ones they were, but we have. And we've taken a mini version of this to other parts of the country as well. Halifax isn't as big as Toronto, but we're still taking the show to Halifax. We're going to take a bit of a different twist and turn it into more of a lobster fest, but at the same time we'll have many of the same characteristics as we're hosting here in Toronto, in the larger cities. And we're going out to one incremental city in the west.
Yeah, to Manitoba, to Winnipeg, and also to London, Ontario. So part of the reason is that resellers in those marketplaces don't have the opportunity to engage as often with vendors. I think that vendors have an increased challenge of getting out to those secondary markets on a regular basis. Resources are constrained across the channel, and therefore vendors look to distributors like Tech Data to represent their message in those local markets. So like Rick said, Halifax is coming up next month. We won't have 30 plus vendors there, but we'll have 10 good vendors that resellers will benefit from a day of engagement with.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Rick, it was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you, Maxine.
And I'm Maxine Chung from CDN Computer Dealer News here in Toronto with Tech Data. Have a great day.